Happy Monday, Elkhart County Positive Parents. You can see that we have another exciting topic for you today and a special guest. So I am going to give Erika a second here to introduce herself and say why she's here and what she does.
Hello, thank you for the introduction. My name is Erika Contreras. I am the Program Assistant / Youth Coordinator with Tobacco Control of Elkhart County. I've worked in tobacco prevention and cessation for a little over 5 years. And just to give a little bit of what TCEC does here, we work to prevent and reduce the use of all tobacco products and of course protect our residents here in Elkhart County from exposure of secondhand smoke and environmental tobacco smoke. And then our priority areas focusing on decreasing youth tobacco rates, adult tobacco rates, again, exposure to secondhand smoke, and then of course maintaining the local and state infrastructure that then overall reduces the use of all tobacco use rates. So a little bit of what it does. It sounds a little intimidating, but I promise it's not.
It sounds like a lot. There's just a lot there. So that kind of brings me to my question, because you said like all tobacco products. And as a parent, I will say I hear things like, okay, so I know about cigarettes, right? Like that's been around. I hear vaping, I hear juuling, I hear pods, I hear hot pot. Like there's all this stuff. Could you just give us a little bit of like, what are some of the products out there? Just a tiny bit of education.
The list could go on for days, unfortunately. And many times here at Tobacco Control of Elkhart County, we have to do our own little research just to know like what the product is, because it changes so quickly. I think many times when we think of e-cigarettes, especially, we think of the big, obnoxious, like big tank vape clouds. And those are definitely still in. They're being used, of course, unfortunately. But with the teens, we've really noticed more of the sleeker, techie, discreet vaping devices, of course, to be used discreetly many times. And a big example is Juul, which, I think is one of the main products of our vaping epidemic. Of course, it's that slim USB-like design, super techie. You can carry it in your pocket without ever knowing. And I've even seen, instead of like having a pop socket on the back of your phone, they have something to carry their Juul. So again, it's that techie savvy kind of look to it. But every year we actually do store audits, and unfortunately I was not able to take part of them last year, but we would, or we visit stores, convenience stores, gas stations, vape stores, and we kind of get an idea of what's out there. And even from last year to this year, things have shifted so much. So I know you talked about combustible cigarettes, and those are obviously still being used a lot. But with the teens, something that's really emerging and becoming very popular is the synthetic nicotine. And those products, I think, are becoming trendy because of the clean aspect that they like to use in their marketing. And the difference between that and the tobacco infused synthetic or nicotine is that the nicotine is lab manufactured. And that's why they like to say that it's clean and pure. And a big product that is being used with that synthetic nicotine is the Puff Bar. Do a quick Google search and you'll know why it's become such a popular vaping device. It actually reminds me a lot of the iPods. If you remember those iPods, media players, similar colors to the Apple products. I was even looking at them. They actually call it, it's like a small, medium, large Puff Bar. And the small one they call the Puff Nano, just like they would call the iPod Nano. And you can now even pick how many puffs you want to get out of it. So the products are endless, the devices are endless, and there's so many things changing from day to day. So, quick Google search and you'll find out really quickly how many things are out there and how accessible they are.
And that's why we have you keeping track of this for us.
Exactly.
And I should say too, if anybody wants to put questions in the chat, Erika has a wealth of knowledge. We're just trying to keep things really minimal here, but let us know what you want to know. So that brings up another question. Like you hear this, like you said, they're marketed as clean. Like, are some of these safe? Are there some that are better than others or worse than others? What's the deal?
So there is no such thing as safe tobacco use. And big tobacco and different manufacturers love to use that argument or even say vaping is a safer alternative, but really safer does not mean safe, especially when it comes to teens and those who have never smoked. Of course, vaping can weaken your immune system, damage blood vessels, and we do know that vaping makes you more likely to actually start smoking cigarettes. And that's really our main focus when it comes to, the marketing of safe or safer alternatives to smoking. It's quick and easy. Just say safe does not mean safer. So, that's the message we like to get out there.
And are any of them nicotine free? Is that a thing, or do they all have that element?
So, there's different emerging products. And like I said, they like to use the tobacco free. That's a big one. Nicotine free is popular in marketing, but once you really find out what's in it, a lot of the times, most of them do have nicotine in them. Juul, I think, likes to market as nicotine free, and that is not the case. Again, if you look through different products and read the fine print, you can see some of those details in that. But things are being marketed as that way, and it's always not the case.
So do a little more searching, look into it.
Definitely. Like I keep saying Google, but really, even the program coordinator and I, a couple of weeks ago, we came across TikTok. TikTok is all the rage right now. And of course I have it downloaded, so I know what's going on. And we came across, so IQOS is a heating system, and it's a newer, techier gadget. And you use it with the traditional cigarettes. You insert the cigarette into the heating system and can then use it that way. So of course they have the clean, you're not burning, it's safer kind of idea to it. And we all know that flavored cigarettes are no longer, and as of Friday, we now know that menthol is being banned as well. So through a quick search, we found out there's these new flavor beads, and the flavor beads are now being inserted into the tobacco filters. Again, a quick search through Amazon, and you can easily buy these flavor beads. So now you have, I think there's peach, there's mint, there's bubblegum, endless amount of flavors that people are now using with these combustible cigarettes and the IQOS heating systems. So again, these products are.
So it's a heating system plus a flavor plus a cigarette. Okay.
And we all know who does the flavors market to. Most of the time it's the youth. So again, we say vaping and e-cigarettes, we're going through a vaping epidemic, but the cigarettes, we've had instances where we had school staff reach out to us and say, hey, we've caught so-and-so with cigarettes. So, we may think they're being no longer used or trendy anymore, but if you're making them a mint flavor, a peach flavor, that might sound very appealing to, youth. So that's something to definitely look out for.
Wow. So what are some things to look out for in my kid? Like if I'm worried, or if I just want to know, like what should I be looking out for?
So this is really tricky. And I know you and I talked about, we don't have the traditional red flags to look out for. It's very tricky when it comes to e-cigarettes. We don't have the obvious clues. But some things to really look out for, I think, are the sweet scents. When we think of e-cigarettes or the vaping devices, we think of the cookies and cream, the unicorn so-and-so flavor, the watermelon, the gummy bear. So if you pick up on a sweet or any type of scent that you normally don't have around, definitely look into it. Those scents are a big one. And again, you don't, with the Juul, you don't have the big, massive vape clouds. So those can be very discreet. They blow it into their shirt, their sweatshirt, and you don't even see the cloud. But scent, if you pick up on the scent, that's a big one. Look for any like flash drive looking devices. I think those are really, really popular with some of those sleek designs. The vape pens usually resemble like traditional pens. Isolation is a big one, changing behavior. I would definitely, again, do a quick Google search and see what kind of devices are out there. Because they can be so discreet. I think we just found out about a new product called Vapor Cup. And we know high schoolers love to do a quick stop at Starbucks before school. And if you see a student walking around with a Starbucks cup, that's nothing alarming. But now they've made a cup or like a coffee tumbler where you can vape out of through the straw, and you would never guess that that's what they're doing. So, I mean, the possibilities are endless. You could do a quick search on Etsy and actually purchase that item yourself. But batteries, chargers, discarded jewel pods, like the colorful ones, I would definitely look out for those. And of course, you have the health concerns, thirst, nosebleeds, the smoker's cough is one amongst many others. But of course, if you have any concerns in regards to health concerns, definitely reach out to your medical provider for that information in regards to health.
Well, a lot to look for there. I know one of my kids told me about the hidden in hoodie strings, like some kind of a little vaping thing.
Or the Apple Watch looking ones. Yeah, it's insane how many things are out there and how discreet they can be. Many times you can see like a picture and it says, can you find the vaping device? And it could be a highlighter, a pen. It could be a string on your hoodie. So endless possibilities when it comes to this, unfortunately. And Big Tobacco is so smart and so quick to develop these products. I mean, they know what they're doing.
They've got resources and they know what they're doing, and then they're claiming not to market to youth. I think
that's
part of it. And yet, why else would you put it in a hoodie string?
All right. We all know.
Wow. So, to counter Big Tobacco, Elkhart County Health Department and Triple P have teamed up, and we are going to be presenting some information for parents. So maybe you can tell us about that and any other resources, like what should we do? If I'm concerned about this, what should I do?
Yeah, so I think now more than ever, we know it's very important for parents to just sit down, talk with your children, be honest, have that conversation. And we really want to work together with Triple P, Positively Elkhart County, and of course, us, Tobacco Control of Elkhart County, and provide that platform to that for that to happen. We want to be able to create that safe and honest environment for this conversation to begin. I want to say begin because we could talk days about this. So that's why we decided to collaborate and really give an idea and conversation about the trends, discuss about marketing, and of course, useful tools on how to talk to your youth about dangers of vaping. We do say youth, but this could be a family conversation, whether it's, adults, aunts and uncles, anybody can benefit from this conversation. And we really want to welcome both parents and teens to the conversation. It's open space for anyone. So if you see this flyer, feel free to share with friends, family, students, different staff at school. Anybody could benefit from this. And our first component will be in English this Thursday, and then we will be having it in Spanish. So again, we want to be able to provide this for anyone because vaping does not discriminate. Nicotine addiction does not discriminate age or, it doesn't matter who you are or what, athletics, nothing. It can happen to anybody. Anybody can take this on. So it's unfortunate, but it's a discussion that needs to happen.
Yeah, and I think one of the things sometimes, for parents, well, if I myself smoke, how can I tell my child not to? And yet it's, there are things you don't want for your children. So there are just a lot of resources out there to help people. Do you have other recommended resources?
Yeah, and I do want to say this is a learning space. So adults, please don't feel ashamed to, join us in the conversation. But I think now more than ever, fortunately, there has been an increase in resources. I think the vaping epidemic has definitely taken a toll on our community. But one resource that we really like to promote, which is a free and anonymous text messaging program by the Truth Initiative. You may have seen some of their commercials or ads, on social media. But This Is Quitting, which is what it's called, is tailored specifically for 13 to 24-year-olds. And of course, they give appropriate recommendations through texting and how to quit. So I'll actually share some of the information so you can enroll in that. All you have to do is text Ditch Vape to number 88709. And then the good thing about that program is there is a parent component. So if you are a parent to someone who vapes, it gives you that advice as the parent of someone who vapes. So that's a really cool aspect to add on to the resource. So that's available as well.
That's very helpful. It can feel very disempowering and helpless as a parent when your kid's doing this thing.
Right. And to have it right in your phone, I think is very convenient. So I would definitely check it out if you can.
Yeah. So that presentation coming up on Thursday will be Erika and her team presenting from the health department side, and then my colleagues Tricia and Emily presenting from the Triple P side. So we'll be talking, with everything Triple P, we're always going to talk about how to prevent problems. So we'll be sharing information about, for example, how to have a conversation with your child, and then how to talk to them, or how to practice dealing with peer pressure, or talking to peers about vaping. So we'll talk about that, give more information, talk about, for example, setting up a behavior contract. So if you find out your child is vaping or smoking, some tips for working them through that. And then just some positive relationship things to do with your child that help them to have that foundation to be able to not get into these habits, to say no to their peers, and give them that confidence and build them up. So there will be a lot happening on Thursday, and then that will be available. I mean, even if you can't be there live, that video will be available to anybody who can't, I think. So that will be on both Elkhart County Health Department Facebook page, Triple P Facebook page. Where else?
We will blast it wherever we can. But yeah, we'll have that in Spanish and English. And then we'll see about just posting the recorded version because we want everyone to be able to have access to that, of course. But yeah, we'll have our Eventbrite link so you can register for that. We have that as an evening event so that we can have that more accessible to, working families as well, or students, whoever is able to join, we welcome.
Yeah, great. So Erika, is there anything else you want to say? Anything I didn't ask you that I wish I had asked you? Parting wisdom?
I think I just really want to emphasize we don't know the long-term effects of vaping. It is fairly new, but we do know the effects of nicotine. And we know nicotine is a highly, highly addictive substance. And of course, on adolescents, it's more, susceptible to those addictive patterns. And I don't think anyone should be or should have to be reliant to any type of substance to feel normal or be able to function. And of course, the best way to avoid nicotine or the best way to not be in this instance is to avoid nicotine whenever possible. And of course, this is only the beginning of our conversation. And again, we welcome all of you to join us at our conversation at 6:30 on Thursday. So you can really get into that conversation. We will give you the opportunity to submit any questions you may have beforehand. So you can anonymously ask any of those questions that you may have, whether it's on a personal level, professional level, whatever it is. We want to be able to access that and share as much as we can with you.
Yes. And I love too what you said about it's not a shame thing, like whatever stage, if you think your child, it's never even considered it, or you and your child are both already smoking or vaping, like the important thing is that we come together and work on it. None of us are alone in doing any of this. And we've got a great county for support.
Yes, many resources. And again, it's a no judgment zone. So feel free to join us for that and share the word as much as you can.
Thank you, Erika. So as usual, you can contact us at Triple P, the bilingual phone line, 574-226-0160, info@tripplepelkhartcounty.org, and then our elkhartcountyparents.org is one of the places you can register for this upcoming webinar. And we are always happy to hear any of your parenting joys or challenges, so reach out to us. Thank you, Erika. By Elkhart County, and we will see you on Thursday.
Thank you so much.